So if you guys remember last year at ATI, these three gentlemen were actually on a panel together, and they were telling us about the awesomeness of their company. Since then, in the last year, they collectively raised over $70 million in investment capital. So we thought it would be a cool idea to bring them back on stage and talk through that, because, I mean, at the heart of this breakfast, it's about tech investment. So we thought it would be wonderful for you guys to share some of those experiences. So my first question, and I'll start with Jim, if it's okay. As you went into that fundraising process this last year, what was your motivation to raise the money?
Sure. The primary motivation is acceleration. You're a stage growth company, and you tend to stair-step your growth. The fuel is capital. In our case, we're fortunate enough to be the category creator for automated warranty claim processing. No one else is doing it. And so, there's a significant opportunity by having that open field. So, but primarily it was acceleration.
Cool. So Joe, same question. What was your thought as you went into, going into the process of raising capital?
So we weren't really sure what we wanted to do. We were growing very well. We were already profitable. But we realized that in technology, I'm going to Shawshank you here for a second. It's get busy living or get busy dying. So we just said, we've got to invest more. We've got to invest more, and we need to accelerate it as well. And I just think it's a space. We had a lot of people coming to us wanting to do deals with us. And then it just opened our minds to why should we do a deal? Who are we going to deal with? Where does it make sense? So, and we ended up doing a small minority deal versus some of the people that came to us and wanted to do majority type style deals because just of how we felt, and we still wanted control. So it started because people were making inquiries, and I had a car dealer in mind. So I'm thinking about, hey, let's make some money. But when you're paying taxes, the way you guys write software off, it's not fun, right? So you're sitting there going, if I keep doing this, we're not going to accelerate fast enough. We can't innovate fast enough to move ahead. And I thought we had a window to do so. So that was what motivated. Try not to be too much of a car dealer and just let's do more of a technology basis.
Ryan, anything different from that?
No, pretty much the same thing for everybody. The one thing that was maybe different for us was we had OEMs coming to us and saying, we want to work with you. And we didn't have the ability to do that. So we wanted to take this once in a lifetime opportunity and grab it. We were also curious what's going to happen with the elections. So there were two big things that were there, and we were happy either way, but we wanted to shore it up.
Makes sense. So how does this money affect you in 2025? Instantly, Ryan?
Yeah, so the biggest thing for us was, and like Joe, we got a monk of profitability last year, and we started burning again to hire some more folks. But the biggest thing for us this year is, I think everybody's going to be talking about AI at some point, but we really wanted to grab that. We're very focused on what we're building. We don't change and react quickly to things. Or I should say, we're not reactive to things. We could pivot quickly, but our plan is our plan, and we're gonna, plan our dive and dot our plan.
Cool. So Joe, in your case, you did the minority investment. I know you're going to share valuations and dollars and how much running for, right? I mean, you're going to do that, right? Sure. Okay. So
You know me.
in your case with TVK, who was your financial partner, did they ever give you? I'm always fascinated by why people invest in certain company. Was there any feedback from the investor, post-close on why they said, your company was the one?
Well, so a couple of things on that. They followed us around for a long time. So I would go to conferences and speak, and they would pop out of the audience and go, hey, Joe, a few months, and hey, Joe. And I think what we were doing just slights the facts that we started as a direct-to-dealer selling. We started this whole service video thing, and then we ended up just focusing on that. And we then ended up powering everybody. People came to us and said, we can't get communication right. And I said, well, 98% of customer experience is how well or how poorly you communicate. But you spend 98% of your time on workflow. How are you ever going to get that right? So we started partnering, and they liked the way that they were partnering. When you partner, you don't have huge sales teams. You had really great margins, and then we were just growing and growing and growing. So I think they liked us through the math equation, but I think they liked our management team, and they liked what we stood for. And then that's them selecting us, and I'm sure you're going to get to the how we select them portion of the show. But I think that's what they liked about it. They liked our management team, our vision, and that was their why they were chasing us around, I guess.
Cool. Jim, your investor was Symptonic, correct? So tell me what that process looked like, and ultimately, why did they say that WarrCloud was the path?
Sure. We're fortunate enough in our situation, for whatever reason, or we've got a pretty long line of people talking to us. Symptonic worked through a process, and what they said was, look, number one, you have a very compelling product, as I mentioned, category creator, which is somewhat unique. Second, you got to have a clear and demonstrable value proposition. In our case, we drive a higher warranty revenue, year one, 15.1%, on average every year after that, 13.1%, easily understood. And we're fortunate enough to have a great management team. They're here, so there'll be no living with them now. But primarily those three things.
Excellent. And so, Ryan, you had Dealer Tire, and Jaap, excuse my ignorance on this one. I don't know, had they ever made investments in the tech space before? Were you the first?
They have. I had not really heard of them investing either, to be candid. And, I have a private equity background, so I like to pride myself on knowing this stuff a little bit. And we were actually pretty far down the path. We'd already received a number of term sheets, and we said we're going to, quick somebody. Flew to Cleveland, met the CDO, and wow, what an impressive company. 10,000 dealerships nationwide. They have global presence, and they have some monster partners that they work with. So I was floored, and having some strategics that you never worked with before come in at the end and be able to say, this is what we want to do, and this is the vision, and that lined up with what we wanted. And we were really, really surprised and impressed with them. Have they invested in others? Yes.
So, Joe brought this up earlier, and one of the things that I talk about with whether it's companies that we're invested in or sit on the board of or advising, I usually start a sentence by saying, not all money is the same, right? When you go and you look at the options that you have, when you go and either seek investment, or even when you're trying to transact your company, you have to really be thoughtful, where you're going to be placed. And so my question, I'll throw this to Jim first, is why did you choose them?
Chemistry is always important. That's sort of table stakes, but chemistry was good. We're very fortunate. Our first two investors were Automotive Ventures and FM Capital, squarely from the automotive arena. Our A round was Argentum, not necessarily solely focused on automotive, but in transportation generally. I wanted to diversify our investor pool and the board, and Symptonic is more fintech and insurance. So I think that added a dimension that we didn't have previously. So those are the chemistry and diversification were the two primary drivers.
So, Joe, I know that there are multiple candidates in the process. Tell me why you ultimately chose TZP.
Well, George is here from TZP, so just, give away, and thanks for the 40 mil. You loved it. So the way I approached it, and I don't know if I'm doing it right, you'll see like Robert and those people that have done 1 million deals, they're experts. I'm just a car dealer. So, we looked at it like I started when we had all these different people, and I said, I'm an investor in FM, I'm an investor in Automotive Ventures. So if I was going to put money into your firm, how do you view the world? I wanted to see if I put money in how they would talk to me. How do they talk about their investments? And then I just like their style. They're great people. They weren't going to get in the mix, but I promised you were going to get in their mix and just say, hey, I need you to look at this head. You looked at this company, you called this company. So we're bothering the hell out of them. We're seeing how resilient they're going to be. Forget about calling us. So that's what we really like them. And I looked at them, and their fund performance and their growth is a ridiculous number. And I just like their style and the way they did it. And, the backers that they have in a fund, with Blackstone and all the heavy hitters was appealing. So I got some big time money, but through a firm where I would have people that are flexible and I can call and work with us on a dime. Because that was the whole reason, right? We needed not just some money. Well, we didn't need the money, but we needed the money to be innovative. But we're in a good position that we didn't need to do a deal. And we just were able to find a right partner and vet it correctly. And George is one of the crew over there. So thanks for coming, George.
And thanks to the 40 million.
Yeah. 40 M's, my friend.
So Ryan, when you answered the last question, you said, you were down this path, pretty far down the path. You had term sheets, right? Which is the real question. What motivated you to want to fly to Cleveland, Ohio? Number one. And I mean that's kind of, no, sir, right? But really the question would be, did you go into that meeting maybe freed up a little bit because of the term sheets, or did you even give them? Were you predisposed going into that meeting, or do you go in open-handed, going, "Hey, maybe this would be a viable option to us"?
Yeah, I mean, as a startup CEO, you rely on your instincts a little bit and say, "All right, we're gonna go in for a partnership. Maybe there's something more there, and we'll figure it out." But we did this without bankers, and I got a great CFO that's 15 years private. We go take the meeting, right? We had some folks we talked in the Bay Area that were like ridiculous on things like valuation and multiple. I'm telling you, like 15 times future 12-month ARR valuation stuff. I'm like, this can't be real. And I was like, maybe there's some other stuff out there it's kind of like that. So we didn't want to do the ridiculous thing. I'm a cardioer like Joe. I wanted some simple, we're gonna move it forward. I want to talk to people. They're gonna be the decision makers. There's not some black box committee of people you have to talk to. And I went in there with an open mind and said, this looks like me, and let's give it a shot. But I think you have to rely on that little voice in the back of your head that says, I think there's something there, and I need to go to Cleveland. It's hard to get there, by the way. And it was worth it.
Trust me, I know. I lived there for 8 years, and it was like the worst 15 years of my life.
Now, hey, I'm from the Midwest, so we'll keep it strong. But if we're good with the snow, how about that?
Yeah. Listen, I think for this room, it's important because there's so many different types of people who sit in this room, right? From investors to car dealers to PE firms, to investment bankers, to companies that are growing, have grown, all of these things. And I think the questions that were asked soon, hopefully, are important to you. I think just through the companies that, that we're involved in the financial partner at Trade Henry, where I sit on the board of, like, the financial partner, it was vitally important. And being able to go hand in hand with Bryce and the executive team. Same thing, I think about, everybody looks at Impel now, and as Impel is a juggernaut, but, back in the early days, that deal that they did with Wavecrest back in 2018 was pivotal. Like, if the founders were here and they were talking about that they could have gotten money from 5 or 6 different entities, probably higher valuations, but the decision that you make now had great impact on you. I mean, you guys are smart enough to know this. And so the reason I bring this up is because I think that there are things that if you are on the investment side, you should really think hard about, not just the valuation, but how you bring assets along. I think for the companies that have connections, and I had no connections to Steve Greenfield with Automotive Ventures and with Chase and the team over Fraser McCombs, that's smart money because they help you kind of align with that next phase. So for others in that space,
Again, I got introduced to WarrCloud because I was an investor in More Ventures, and I'm a dealer that uses WarrCloud, right? So thank you. Damn it, a great book. Yeah. And and so it's like one of those things where, look, it's just about, don't let anybody make the world pretty complicated. This is about fit. It's like anything. When you hire a really key person, or when you getting in a relationship, it's really about fit. And I guess you're right. You got to use your instincts, and and that's the picking the right partner for sure of the show, right? It's just got to be a good fit. Valuation has a number, but Ryan just told you that valuation doesn't trump fit. And if you go for valuation, and from a Silicon Valley VC firm, you could be roadkill in like 10 years. I mean, it's not really a park. So to me, I think that's what, if you're out there, you're thinking about doing stuff like this. So I'll let you ask all your other questions, Dave. I just wanted to finish that.
it was good. All about fit. I mean, you always fit it by sentences. That's it.
There was something last year too. We were all on this stage, and a lot's happened in the year. There's a lot of talk on seed stage, Series A. Maybe it was different for you guys. Like, man, doing the B round or doing the growth stage, game changing. Holy goodness on inflection. Like all the, we're car dealers, right? Like we can sell in the early stage. In the growth stage, it's like, what did you do? Did you perform? Did you hit the metric? Where is the metric? It was a whole different animal this time around. So I'm glad we did it, but finding the strategic partner and having somebody that can do a little hand holding and be a little reasonable could be helpful also.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll add before I ask the next question, bringing in, when you're negotiating these deals, right? There are board seats and other pieces that are important to it. And sometimes they don't feel important at the time, but those can change the outcome of a company. I've watched this, on the negative and on the positive side of who they brought in after that. And so that's something really for the founders to think through as they go through that process. So, we talked earlier about the funds and how this is going to change, and I even heard AI brought up. I'm curious, Jim, as you think about how you're going to deploy some of the investments, do you have anything that you had in your roadmap, anything as it relates to optimizing the company and the solution going forward, like that you're really excited about?
I'm excited about all of it. There isn't an area of the company that is untouched by the B round investment. I mean, we are investing in a larger sales force, beefing up the marketing team, where we've reached the size where we can approach the OEMs. Obviously, investing a lot more in the development side to deepen our AI. What we do is we take repair order data and we read it. It's unstructured data. So being able to parse through that, understand it, and automate it requires significant and sophisticated computing power. So this is not an area of the company that's untouched. And personally speaking, selfishly, I'm really excited about not raising money in 2025. Because as Ryan said, we did it ourselves as well. We didn't have an IB. So getting back and being 100% focused on the company. But we're just super excited about accelerating in 2025.
Cool. Ryan, anything that's near and dear to your heart, or what's on the current roadmap as it relates to the company?
Joe's going to talk about AI, but we think we're really curious to see what's going to happen and kind of the agentic model. The industry is going to look very different in 12 to 18 months. This year related to AI, I don't know if anybody in the room watched CES this year. There's a lot happening that's, kind of macro to our industry that we need to be paying attention to. And it's not going to impact us this year, but the perception of it will start to impact us next year. And there were a lot of investors that I talked to in this round that asked me about autonomous and self-driving and all of that. And it was very easy for me to dismiss it. I could say it's years away. Don't worry about it. That's going to be a harder conversation when we look to sell or for those that are getting into the space, we have to come up with a better plan for that. So we're going to use AR. We're going to be a part of that revolution, but it's also something that we need to be thinking about. Joe, you're up.
Here we go. Thanks for the press. We are pressure.
Who has an AI robot in his office, and he'll show you later.
Yeah. No, my partner Douglas is sitting up front here. I refer to him as the brains of the operation. So when you talk about the technology and stuff that's coming, it's going to get crazy. And this is one of the reasons why we did the deal as well. But we're using, I'll just talk about video as an example. So we got a little lucky. 7 billion videos are watched every day, 8 billion videos on Facebook alone. And you just add up all the different stuff. It's not a customer behavior anymore. It's a human behavior. So people don't want to call. They don't want to, people consume video at like 7, 8 hours. It's some stupid number. But at the end of the day, we got lucky with that. We also got lucky with asynchronous communication, right? So that wind was blowing in our sails. And I think Jim said something really important. Jim's used the term unstructured data. And you're going to hear a lot about this. And this is what you should think about. And our unstructured data is we'll be trending 2.5 million video views a month in May. So that's 2.5 million customer experiences, right? And we think we're going to get medieval from that number. But that's a pile of videos, right? That's unstructured data that, like Jim was referring to. How do you take that unstructured data? And before AI, I would have not known what to do with that data. But now we can take that data and go to the OEMs and say, hey, you're doing 3 million videos a year in service, and here are the 10 things on video quality score that we're going to provide you. The decibel of the voice, words per minute, words that were said that are very specific to your presentation. So, and then Douglas, also, there's also augmented reality that is going to be really big with video. So we partnered with, you guys know Snap Cells? We'll stay at a lab called Snap Labs. After today, if Douglas is still here, if you have those glasses, could you put the glasses on, just show everybody how crazy they look? Yeah, they're quite sensitive. Those are the glasses from Snap Labs. That augmented reality you're going to see. So we're building all of our technology so that when you have those glasses and you're working glasses in 2 years, AI is not just language models. That's what I keep telling everybody. So I think that's I don't want to go on and on about it, but when you could go up and wear those, frankly, my technicians would all be wearing glasses, which would be a start, right, for eye protection. That would be a great start. Put your glasses on. Or that's all I say when I'm running through one of the shops. Put your glasses on. So they'd have that. But when you see how that works and how you can do that job, it is going to get crazy. And then draw things, read sizes, tell you different things. That's what we're working on. Object recognition. It's pretty crazy stuff. So I think just the way I would say it is AI is going to be way more than just like everybody sits around a cocktail party and talks about language models. You're almost going to be like, who cares with that?
So the next ATI, we're going to have bosses for everyone. And we'll just, I'm not even going to tell you what it's going to send. So we'll keep that for the next ATI breakfast. Hey, I'm going to ask the last question, and I announce not for you, not for these guys, but to let Seed know that this is the last question. You guys are all, for the most part, in the fixed ops side, right? And for the last 2 or 3 years, almost every investor call that I get, they're looking for, that fixed ops solution to invest in. But it's harder, at least in my experience, to sell into a dealership, right? A fixed ops solution. I heard a number of you talk about OEMs, and this is where I may trip you up a little bit with a question, but going into 2025 and 2026, is your focus going to be mainly on continuing to sell dealership groups, large dealership groups, or working with the OEMs on more of a top-down type of solution? I'll start first to Jim.
So we're diversifying our strategy up until now. We came to market in 2021. Our focus has been exclusively on the dealer. It's hard to have a discussion with an OEM unless you have critical mass in the marketplace. Now that and at this show, I think we'll sell a 700th dealer. So now is the time to begin talking to the OEMs, especially when you're the first one doing what you do. The process of OEM warranty is somewhat of a partnership between the dealer and the OEM anyway. We don't use a baseball metaphor, the dealer is fishing and the OEM is catching. Having separate technology platforms to do that doesn't make any sense. So we're looking forward to having those conversations to see where we can pull the two sides together.
Brian?
We've done it. We like to say that we partner with the OEMs. I won't sell to them, though. They just don't have a nimbleness that we have as dealers. Our flexibility, you can walk them to a dealer. Don't get me wrong, like selling to dealers can be tough, right? General managers don't come up through fix. I always say, amateurs talk sales, professionals talk fix. And if the general manager does not understand fixed upside, that's a tough sale. But it's 10 times worse when you go to the OEM and you have an SOW and they live in this land of, revising the SOW and lawyers have to talk to it and show me your COI. It's slow. And we release product every Monday. They just can't keep up. And as a result of that, you have this arduous process. We partner with the OEM. We want to partner. It's a good partnership. We will keep selling to dealers. Last March, we put 234 dealers on 1 month. There's no way we could get that sale with the OEM. So I think we got a good strategy and we're going to stick with it this year.
That's it? 234?
We're trying to catch up to you.
No, just sitting there. That's a huge number. My self-esteem just went in the gutter listening for that.
No, it did.
Yeah, no, so.
I was waiting. I was like, is it too early? Could these guys not everybody on the audience is like,
How do these three goofballs raise, $75 million in the fourth quarter after whatever next to ATI? Right? Anything's possible. No, I'll end with this. Listen, as a car dealer, just a couple of thought processes. OEMs, I say this a lot of times I'm speaking. OEM's facilities all look great now, right? So we go by an Audi store and it's an Audi store, millions and millions of it have been invested. All the French fries look the same, but they don't taste the same. And that's the problem with our industry. So when we do video and we power, Reynolds and, we power, CDK and Eckstein and all these different people, we're providing that state-of-the-art tool and then doing upgrades. And then we're going to the OEMs and saying, we have all the data. This is the data. So we go to the OEMs ahead before the RFP goes out, and we say, we're going to get you a free education. And then we're going to support our partners because that's the one point of truth on data you're going to be able to get. You want one point of truth, dealers want choice. So we're able to solve a problem for our partner who doesn't want to invest in video and try to keep up. You want to provide the data sets for the OEM. We help the dealer because if our stuff is in 3 places, 4 places, like they have choice because that's just dealer wants. Best experience for the end user customer. OEM, that's one point of truth. You're going to see a lot more of that. We cannot, when you walk in those halls and you see the fragmentation in there, and then people are trying to sand up customer data platforms, buena suerte. Good luck. That's tough. So I think that's really where you're going to see the collaboration day. And I know Greenfield to take us down here. So let's go.
hey, so would you join me in thanking these 3 gentlemen for